Evaluation of fundus autofluorescence patterns in patients with central serous chorioretinopathy, a prospective observational study. CSR is an idiopathic condition occurring in young to middle-aged adults characterized by serious detachment of neurosensory retina. It is associated with leakage of fluid at the level of RPE. Patients with acute form complain of blurred vision, scotoma, metamorphopsia. Acute form generally resolves spontaneously in majority of the cases. However, the chronic form is often associated with visual acuity decline, atrophic and degenerative changes of the RPE. Investigation tools such as FFA, indocyanine green angiography have provided insight about hemodynamics and fluid dynamics. OCT has provided additional clues about the size and elevation of the detachments, the development of retinal atrophy, and correlates to the visual acuity in resolved CSR. Fundus autofluorescence is a non-invasive method that provides functional images of the fundus by employing stimulated emission of light from naturally occurring fluorophores, the most significant being lipofuscin, which is generated as a byproduct of retinoid cycle after phagocytosis of photoreceptor outer segment by RPE and demonstrates fluorescence between 500 to 750 nanometers. Since the accumulation of lipofuscin occurs in retinal pigment epithelial cells because of their unique metabolic role, fundus autofluorescence imaging may provide clues to the pathobiology of CSR. Fundus autofluorescence detects changes of fluorophores, reflecting the status of RPE activity and reveals change in the retina over the early and late CSR. Thus, FAF imaging may be used widely to study CSR. An increase or decreased FAF signals outside the normal background fluorescence considered as abnormal FAF. We classified FAF imaging into 5 patterns as blocked, mottled, hyper, and descending. These are the 5 autofluorescence patterns in our study. Background and objectives to evaluate patterns of fundus autofluorescence and analyze association between fundus autofluorescence, visual acuity and SSOCT in idiopathic CSR. Inclusion criteria are patients diagnosed as idiopathic CSR. Exclusion criteria are patients who have undergone laser photocoagulation for CSR, history of usage of steroids, history of any ocular surgery, patients with intraocular inflammation and optic disc pit. Study design is a prospective observational study and study sample of patients coming to Vishaka Eye Hospital and sample size is 52. Methodology: 65 eyes of 65 patients from Vishaka Eye Hospital were prospectively included. Patients underwent complete ophthalmological examination. Fundus autofluorescence was done using Z-Claris 700 wide field fundus camera with central 133 degrees field. Results. Figure 1 showing the bar diagram of the age distribution of all the subjects. The mean age of the study is 39.8 years. Figure 2 showing the gender distribution of all the subjects. Among the subjects, 58 were males and 7 were females. Figure 3 showing the eye affected. The right eye is affected in most of the patients than the left eye. Figure 4 showing the bar diagram for comparison between FAF patterns of all the subjects. Blocked FAF is the most common pattern and descending tract pattern is the least common pattern. Figure 5 showing the bar diagram for the comparison between FAF patterns and best corrected visual acuity. Blocked FAF pattern showing best corrected visual acuity and descending tract pattern showed the least favorable visual prognosis. Figure 6 showing the bar diagram showing SSOCT characteristics among FAF patterns. Disruption of ellipsoid zone and outer segment elongation is seen in all the patterns except blocked pattern. Discussion in our study: blocked FF pattern is the most common fundus autofluorescence pattern followed by hyper FF pattern. Descending tract FF pattern is seen in least number of patients. Intact ellipsoid zone seen to be more pronounced with blocked FF pattern. Blocked FF pattern showed the best visual acuity among all the others. Descending tract pattern showed least favorable visual prognosis followed by hyper and hypo FF patterns. Limitations: in our study the sample size is less. It is single centered study. There is no long follow-up. The strengths of the study: it was a prospective study. There are not much studies analyzing the association between visual acuity SSOCT and fundus autofluorescence patterns, and latest generation SSOCT is used in our study. Conclusion: in our study, blocked FF is the most common pattern followed by hyper FF pattern. Descending tract FF pattern is seen in least number of subjects and blocked FF pattern showed best visual acuity among all the others. Fundus autofluorescence patterns corresponded to the integrity of the ellipsoid zone and visual acuity, which may be associated with the chronicity of the disease. Fundus autofluorescence pattern imaging may be used as a supplementary diagnostic tool to evaluate the chronicity of the central serous retinopathy and help to determine the treatment plan. Thank you.
What does hyperautofluorescence pattern signify in autofluorescence? What does it mean? Hyperautofluorescence.
Hyperautofluorescence occurs due to excess RPE dysfunction, sir, and lipofuscin accumulation.
So you had more blocked fluorescence than hyperautofluorescence. Means
Yes, sir.
most
Block.
of chronic cases.
Hello, sir.
You had more cases of blocked autofluorescence than hyperautofluorescence.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That means most of your cases are acute or chronic.
Acute cases are more, sir, because blocked fluorescence is most common in our study. It is due to just blockage of signals by subretinal fluid, and there is no disruption of ISOS junction. So this pattern is having better visual acuity.
So hyperautofluorescence in a case of CSR means good prognosis or poor prognosis.
Poor prognosis, sir.
Can you base our treatment based on autofluorescence, CSR?
First, we have to advise the patients to avoid risks, sir. Lifestyle modification, AMSLA grid monitoring should be advised, and anti-corticosteroid agents should be advised, like eplerenone, and asked to come in for regular follow-up.
So we cannot base our treatment based on autofluorescence in a case of CSR. In the case of CSR, autofluorescence is just to show that it is an acute CSR or a chronic CSR or recurrent CSR, and it shows the extent of retinopigmental damage. So
Yes,
it's just say that it's a chronic disease rather than an acute.
Yes, sir. Just for the visual prognosis.
We cannot direct our treatment based on autofluorescence at present. CSR, especially CSR. No?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, madam. We go on to the next one.
Thank you, sir.